a bit of sustain from your spell kit. Maybe pick something like the Maokai, get that away from the Chiefs. They didn't pick it in first rotation.
Yeah, and because Minky Whale had the pick of the litter, he was counter-picking Swiper in that matchup. He could have gone for a Shen, which can defend his team from those dives. Yep. I would have really loved to see that, or even a Maokai.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a lot here. Great. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your analysis. But we do have a couple more games to play here. It's only one there for the Chiefs, so let's throw it back to Atlas and Spawn.
Thank you very much, Pastry Time, and I'm more than excited to get into this next match. Of course, we'll see what Legacy have gone and discussed, whether they figured out what went wrong in that first game and whether they have the answers for what the Chiefs were bringing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that what they mentioned at the very end there is key. Yeah. Minky Whale on Aurelia, I understand why the pick came through because of the history behind these two teams, but Shen is just so strong right now, and the ability to be able to soak up waves, push out very quickly with a Sunfire Cape, teleport, and help out key members, especially in what was a Protect the Kog'Maw comp, would have been very useful because Chu's positioned beautifully. Like, he is a class mid laner, all class, and even Wally's positioning was much improved. So they had the recipe to be able to take team fights. Minky just wasn't far enough ahead to pick an Aurelia to do it for them.
Yeah, it's true. And of course, Shen has the ability to pick up that early defensive item, so you can really start those skirmishes. As soon as he hits that level 6, he's going to be able to use that Stand United, really get on the back of whoever's in trouble and stop what is the quintessential Chiefs playstyle, especially that game, which is just get someone and make them dead.
Yeah, exactly right. They were just unrelenting in how they wanted to chase down individual members. You know, we said that Legacy weren't playing well enough with their vision. A lot of that has to come down to Claire being a new support player, who, by the way, wasn't too bad as we take a look at the Chiefs lineup. But once Chiefs spotted out someone like Wally, like Minky, a little bit overextended, they just pulled the go button every time. It backfired once, but for the rest of the game, it looked beautiful. Yeah,
and there was sort of situations there where Legacy were also able to capitalize from some overextensions, but we are back on to Champion Select as the Chiefs, of course, with the blue side one more time. Legacy opting for that red as Rek'Sai Victor once again going to be banned away. Callista Alistair this time going to be hitting the bench, and we'll see what goes next, whether we're going to have any changes at all.
Yes, pretty standard stuff coming through so far in the Champion Select of Game 2. Have to see whether they put any consideration, and it's a Sivir. They don't want to first pick it.
This does mean that the Elise is still open. Spooks, a Legacy Elise player. Carbon, a massive Legacy Elise player. Of course, also plays for Legacy, so of course double dipping there on that front as Twisted Fate is going to hit the bench. No surprises, the Elise first pick for Spooks.
So I knew that was coming because Swiffer said he refuses to play against Elise, that he just won't do it. That if his team leaves it open, they are first picking it every single game. And Spooks is a terrific Elise player. I want to know what build he goes. I expect it is going to be the Cinderhulk into Haunting Guys full tank after that for a little bit of early game power, but then a lot of tank and pick potential. CDR is just so good on Elise because she does percentage health damage, and you don't need the extra threat coming through when you are playing on a team with Swiffer and Radiant. You just need to be able to set it up. So that's what I expect to come into this game, but want to know what Legacy hit back with. There's a danger of playing Nunu into Elise because at the start of the game, where Nunu can run into your jungle and kind of troll you a little bit, Elise excels at just killing him.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's the answer to Nunu this time around, but it is going to once again be picked. Carbon, pretty comfortable with his decision on that champion, and last time did manage to get extremely tanky. Yeah, wasn't able to win the game.
Carbon gave up a lot of the farm that you would normally expect as a jungler that early in the game and still did a terrific job of staying relevant. Hats off to the captain of Legacy for putting up such a good performance on the back end of that game. You can see the Chiefs taking a long time with that Morgana, negate some of the pick potential, add some of their own. All of a sudden, a very fearsome anti-dive comp. Nunu, Morgana, not champions you want to fight underneath the turret because of their slow and stun that can come through. And the Chiefs might have to change it up a little bit here, especially with TF on the bench.
Well, Ejim considering one of his most played champions in the Thresh. It is going to be locked in. Swiffer grabs that one. Corki for Radier. And the Chiefs, that is some serious comfort for both the bottom lane and the jungle.
But also some serious magic damage, and Shen is still available.
Good
what
point.
Does Swiper play apart from maybe Hecarim that is mainly physical damage because they need a physical damage threat right now in their lineup. Otherwise, Minky goes pure tank and will just run over the team late game.
Man, this could really do with an 80 assassin there in the mid lane, as Choo-Choo's lets us know of his Zed. Of course, hasn't played it very much recently, but man, MVP performances on that champion. Yari being hovered, one of Swiffer's champs, but Choo-Choo's definitely no stranger to assassins in the mid, and Yasuo has Choo-Choo's all over it. Okay, just calm down.
The legendary Teemo.
Yeah, what am I going to talk about there? I got nothing. Wally Thacker thinking about taking the Vayne. Tahm Kench! It's going to be locked in for what is most likely Minky Whale in the top lane.
That's 100% Minky Whale, and it's funny because Swiper has also been playing a lot of it to mixed success.
Yes.
But Minky wanting to pick up what is an incredible late game tank. We mentioned Shen. Tahm Kench also gets to the point late game.
Does a similar thing too.
With the shield that comes through from the Grey Health, where you just do not kill the man, and does percentage health damage on the W, so always will be relevant.
He is, and also so mobile around the Rift as well. That ultimate able to get him through anything, but there's the Fizz locked in, and the Jace for Swiffer. He still had an 80 damage dealer left up his sleeve in the mid lane.
Certainly did. Was not expecting it to come out. I know he's been playing a lot of it, but Jace is one of those champions that Swiffer's always had mixed success on. Hasn't really ever been able to get rolling, but in the top lane, Swiper, he picked up Fizz. And that's just comfort all over.
That's certainly, well, yeah. We just saw recently that Swiper, his two most played champions, Maokai and Fizz, he's now playing both of them back to back.
Game 2 versus Avant, able to really take it to Porky in the top lane as well.
I want this time that they're going to be locked in.
It's not going to.
Do you remember Autumn?
I do.
Do you remember Minky Whale?
Yeah, he's also already picked his champion.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tahm Kench. It's theoretically also a support. He can get there.
Mid lane Morgana.
Yeah, so many flexes are here. But the Lissandra is locked. What is happening? Analyze it, please. Go.
Yeah, so Lissandra, a very good anti-diver person to come through. So what happens, right? What I'm trying to say is if Jace ever goes into hammer form, there's a real chance that Choo-Choo's just blows him up.
Good point.
Soon as he jumps on him, able to layer all of the CC on top of Swiffer and really do a lot of damage. Also, really good initiation, can come in through Fog of War and lend a hand there, looking towards the comp for maybe a lack of damage, especially when you compare to how much damage comes out of the Chiefs lineup. Will struggle unless Wally can really get going in the early game.
Well, I'm thinking if Wally ever has an opportunity to, with that Frozen Tomb there, with the fact that Absolute Zero is going to be hanging around and Soul Shackles are there as well.
The fact that he can get eaten and just run away with him?
Yeah, very good point as well. So Minky Whale can just snap him up, run away, everything's going to be A-okay. But Legacy, they can control so much space on the Rift around these objectives.
Yeah, they certainly can, and I'm also looking forward to the Tahm Kench Lissandra dive where he just jump in his mouth, take her under a turret and just wreck people's faces. Certainly a different team comp coming through from Legacy, and the Chiefs once again just go back to comfort.
Yep, and this is the first time that I personally have seen Tahm Kench in competitive play, so I'm very excited to see what he's going to be capable of as we're moving towards Summoner's Rift. You can see the crowd in the big top ready for it. And let us know on Twitter, guys. Hop on, use that hashtag CHFWin if you think they can make it a 2-0 or whether Legacy can even the score. Use that hashtag LGCWin. We are going to get onto the Rift for Game 2 between Legacy and the Chiefs. The Chiefs once again going to be wearing some blue shorts. Legacy going to be picking up the red ones, and we'll see what they decide to do early on in this game.
Yeah, so they can go for a Q to level 1 strategy this time around to Legacy. Claire playing Morgana, going to have a very good level 1, as well as choose the spammable Q, very useful. Have to see whether the teams bump heads with each other.
Chiefs with a lot of Doran's blades here as well. Not a lot of them left in the shop. Yep, so even invades going on both sides of the Rift, just making sure that they can get all of the deep vision down. Once again, same situation as last game. Lots of pings. They discovered that ward. Legacy well aware.
So I haven't actually checked out Swiper's room page for Tahm Kench, but it looks like he runs a lot of HP. I know that a lot of people like to run some health regeneration as well because of the way his grey health works in laning phase.
Yep.
You can absorb a lot of punishment. And surprisingly high bases coming out of both the Q and the W means that he trades not horribly in the early game. But Fizz, as soon as he hits level 6, will have the kill potential in the lane. We'll see whether that means a lane swap coming through for Legacy this time around.
Well, they are moving the Vayne towards at least the top side of the map for now.
And Chiefs want the 2v2.
Yeah, well, they've spotted it here as well.
Actually, they
Legacy
don't.
Moved down.
Radiant moves back away.
Okay. I believe they just moved over a ward there as well, as now he's turning around. He's playing musical jungle. At this point, he needs to decide when the music's actually going to stop, but he is now moving towards the bottom lane, but he's going to miss some creep.
It certainly is, and that's what I was going to mention, the fact that sometimes Ejim and Radiant play more against the people actually behind the keyboard than the champions themselves and how they interact, because Vayne, if she gets level 2 earlier, can definitely make you pay, especially with a black shield on herself, but they're still going for it.
Swiffer going aggressive level 1 here as well. You can see that auto attack in hammer form. Doing some work there after the transform. Swiffer did take a fair bit back though as well. We'll see how this lane is going to unfold.
Ooh, level 2 gank coming through here for Carbon.
Drive by. There's the flash snowball from Carbon. Cute auto attack. And he's like, I don't even need summoner spells.
Sometimes it's just about sending a message.
That was
Atlas.
received.
Message sent.
Oh, goodness.
Mid lane going to be a focus for Legacy.
This is a seriously fishy top lane.
Oh, goodness gracious. Someone make it stop.
Pretty effective, though. He's going to butt heads here. Of course, both of them pretty webbed. We'll see how this lane pans out. A little bit of extra kill pressure for the Fizz, you could imagine, but the tankiness...
A lot of extra kill potential, especially with Ignite being picked up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
As I said, as soon as level 6 comes through, Swiper is going to look to solo killing.
Yeah, well, there's a Dark Binding from Claire. Trust Claire to hit the skill shots here on the bottom side, but Death Sentence lands. That's not the target with the Black Shield, as Radiant just wants some extra damage on the Wally.
And once again, Wally, gank from Spooks.
Yeah, looking to try and find the cocoon. Holds onto it, waits for the flash. There it is, Minky getting taken solo. First blood for the Elise, and that's why it was banned in the first game. Dark Binding on the bottom side, but Claire flayed back in. Wally taking so much damage. Radiant as well, as he's down to 100 health, and there's so much action all over the Rift this game.
Yeah, there certainly is, and Nunu is behind the turret, decides against the dive, doesn't want to commit to it, and the lane will push back. Means he can stick around in that half of the jungle if he so chooses.
Claire so far has hit
not.
every Dark Binding. Oh my goodness. Okay, no, he's not.
He's not. He's coming back bot.
Spooks though, he's hanging around top lane still.
What is Carbon doing? He's just done a ring around the Rosie 3 times with a red buff.
I think it's just that side of the jungle. There must be music playing. I don't know.
Spook is behind Choose.
Yeah, in goes Swiffer, but he gets caught up there. The Ignite's down. Last auto attack is Choose. Gonna flash in. No, decides not to. As Spooks is trying to pick up the kill. Uses the repel, forces the flash out of Choose. Spooks now might be in trouble here as the cocoon does come in. And what is happening? Someone kill someone.
What a play actually in the mid lane. Choose able to escape with his life. Spooks and Swift are both going very low. And Carbon trying to shove out this lane so Spooks doesn't have the chance to freeze it for his mid laner.
Yeah, Spooks not a whole lot of health here as well as Carbon takes one of the Qs in lady form. Spooks able to pick up the farm underneath this turret as well. Tahm Kench versus Swiper. Or Minky Well versus Swiper. 22 lead actually for the Tahm Kench. Tries to eat him but can't, dodged out. Oh, actually just ate a minion. That's fine.
I think he went for Swiper, and then he went on the troll pole and he was like, well, I'll just take the minion instead.
Yeah, Tahm Kench, he wants to eat something, and he will.
Only 300 gold the lead right now for Chiefs, even though they picked up that first blood. Did go into Spook, so look for him to get aggressive. You can see it is the Cinderhulk pickup. So not going for the aggressive room glaive itemization, unless he grabs the Sightstone and then goes into it, and I will be very grumpy.
Why would you be grumpy?
Because then I'll be trolled.
Yeah, well, I actually was going to suggest it, and I thought it was cool, so I was hoping that you weren't grumpy because it was a really bad idea, because I thought it was a cool idea.
Great idea.
Thanks, man. Radiant versus Wally on the bottom side. Lots of wards in that brush there as Corki obviously with a little bit more power in the early stage of the game, but we'll see whether Wally with his sort of 1v1 potential on the Vayne.
So this is something that really good support players do. You saw that Ejim was outside of lane as long as it was a 1v1, just to give Radiant the extra experience. As soon as the lane is back to 2v2, Ejim comes back to gain the experience as well, but just wants to make sure that they hit level 6 at roughly the same time and try and get every advantage for his laner as well. Also able to get some good vision out at the same time.
Yeah, Chuchu's actually with an interesting pick here, and with the Forbidden Idol, goes for some extra cooldown reduction and mana regen on his way to the Morellonomicon. Tumble out of the way of the Frost Bomb.
Lissandra's bases are really good, which is why she was one of the few champions who could take top lane and just get 40% CDR with.
Yep.
Because she's just able to throw out continual harass.
And her Q doesn't cost a lot of mana either, especially if you can time it correctly with her passive. Swiffer, Frozen Tomb is here for Chuchu. That's why Swiffer is playing her so much respect. There's a Hammer Bomb. Need to be careful, but Swiffer is going to be fine for the moment.
As a dive, potentially coming in with level 6 here.
Yeah, Charm the Waters is going to be available here. Minky is in a lot of trouble. There it is, Grey Health building up. Minky decides to eat the Fizz.
Oh, wow.
Grey Health comes down. Swiper able to use the Playful Trickster, but picks it up again with the passive. Not going to be able to get away from that turret, and Minky is going to survive this time.
He's going to live and pick up all that farm. Minky Whale able to live this time around.
Is this another ring around the Rosie spawn?
Not really.
No, not happening. I thought it might.
There's Carbon now looking for a gank in the bottom lane.
Yeah, walks over a pink ward. Chiefs are going to be able to back away in time. Are going to lose some vision there in that tri-brush.
But that was a lot expended. Ultimate as well as...
Dodges the Q, does Swiffer. The ultimate is there. Immediately cleanse. Swiffer knocks Chuchu's back, but Carbon in exactly the right position. Glacial Path going to be used. Swiffer burns to death. Chuchu's picks up the kill.
And Carbon flashed once again to get into range for that snowball. Doesn't burn the ultimate. Allows Chus to pick up the kill with the red buff.
Where did Chuchu's go on his holiday? He's been playing so well this series.
I actually don't remember, which is really bad. Europe, I think. As we take another look at it, Swiffer goes aggressive, has the level advantage, flashes over for the E because he thinks it's going to be an extended fight, but then Carbon, he's just there in time. Gets a snowball, couple of auto attacks, and Swiffer burns down.
Yeah, the Swiper going to get tongue-lashed here by Minky Well on the top side of the map, but not too worried. Sheen already be picked up by the Fizz. Going probably towards the Trinity Force that has been Swiper's way most of the time.
Certainly has. Really enjoys playing Fizz with the Ignite up there in the top lane, going super aggressive. Being an AD assassin, but still doing a lot of magic damage because of the usefulness of the W on low health targets.
Sea Stone Trident.
Wally's still doing a fairly decent job of keeping up. Minky again.
Yeah, Charm the Waters in one more time. The Black Health has been used. Gets eaten. Swiper quite low, but man, Spooks does some work.
Certainly does. Spooks with the level 6. It is a Sight Stone, so there's a potential. I still hold by the fact that it will be a Cinderhulk.
Okay. I want it to be a Ringglaive so
I
bad.
so do not want to. I've gone all in on this one, Atlas. No backing down now.
Yep, I think that's a very good point. Well, Carbon is going to hand over the blue buff here to Choose. Behind on farm, but with that extra kill, one step closer towards that Morellonomicon. Has himself extra Antome as well. Yeah, Chuchu's going to flash forward. Swift going to get caught by the Frozen Tomb. Ejim just trying to help him out. Doesn't quite have the Dark Passage for him just yet. As Swiffer uses the W, trying to get any health he can, but Minky's going to pick it up. Ejim, decent flash there, and the Cocoon was amazing, but Chuchu's with one more. 2-0-1 for the Lissandra.
That was a really good piece of play out of Chiefs, actually, to nail the Cocoon and then nearly escape with a death sentence. But in the end, Legacy able to commit enough to the little skirmish, and this is what they were talking about on the desk. In a skirmishing situation, they might have enough to be able to go with them, and they pick up 2 unanswered kills and a dragon.
Yeah, Carbon able to eat that one for himself. Man,
oh, they're going for the dive.
Yep, there it is. Pops out of the ocean somehow in the middle of the ground. They are going to turn around. Of course, Swiper with the teleport. That's all they wanted. Swiper still going in. What? Okay. Snowball. Probably not something to be too scared of. as that is a value brush. My goodness, you've been talking about sales all night, Spawn, and that is certainly one of them.
It's certainly, he couldn't cash in on it though, you know, too much.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't have enough arms to
Come
carry
on, guys,
all awards out.
get over here. It's like he's, you know, someone's in a cart throwing money out. Sort of medieval times. I don't know why that reference came to my head. That was deep. Spooks, though, going to be able to clear out some minions here on the top side of the map, doing his best swiper impression. We'll see. We haven't really gone through yet, Spawn, when these teams are going to be the most powerful. I'm looking at Vayne, a lot of scaling there, but where are these teams looking to fight?
Yeah, Vayne gets her first spike at Blade of the Ruined King, where she becomes the assassin that wants to try and find people 1v1 and delete them off the map. A little bit more of a split-pushing AD carry, which is why she doesn't normally find a place in metas very easily. Tom Kench, I have absolutely no idea. I'll check in after this game and tell you when he gets strong.
Good.
And wow, Wally.
Yeah, there's the playback onto Wally. Uses the final hour. Nice dark binding comes in as Claire's trying to turn it around. Radiant. Oh, the soul shackle's not quite enough. As the auto attack from Claire's going to pick it up. Choo-choo's coming through for the turnaround. Frozen Tomb and Legacy 5-2.
All over the Chiefs so far this game. Atlas and Abel. Wow, Carbon dodges out. Fancy footwork.
Yep, able to use that blood boil. Moving pretty quick. It's Christmas time. Chiefs looking just to try and take anything that they can. Frozen Tomb is, of course, on cooldown here for
Dive coming through
Lissandra.
in the top lane, potentially? No.
Wouldn't be surprised. Grey health has been built up, but Swiper at half probably doesn't want to go too aggro here onto Minky, who's just using that Balmy Cinder to farm out this lane. Tom Kench is a silly-looking champion. Look at him.
How dare you speak about Grom's cousin that way?
Come at me, Grom.
You do not mean that.
No,
There's another dive coming through.
Yeah, another Chum the Waters comes down as well. Delicious Fizz one more time as Minky's trying to do his very best 2v1 impression, but it's getting harder and harder, Spawn.
Certainly is, but they keep going back to this top lane. Spook's getting a lot of the gold. Now finally Swiper able to pick up a kill lead. But on the other side of the map, you have to say that Chu's starting to build up. Even Wally has started to get going. And that only means good things. If we saw anything from game one, from behind those two players looked amazing. Right now they're ahead. Yeah, and they're looking for another fight. Carbon's here.
Yeah, of course Claire with the flank in as well, wants to find the Dark Binding. Ejim needs to put his dancing shoes on, doesn't do it. There's the absolute zero. Tallywhacker, Wally Thacker, whatever your name is, picks up the kill.
Yeah, Wally able to grab another one. He has a Blade of the Ruined King. That means that they're going to get even more control over the bottom half of the map. And whilst top lane turret did fall, giving Chiefs the edge for a brief moment, Legacy able to take it back.
Yeah, and Wally even going to be able to get some extra auto attacks onto this outer turret. It's fairly healthy, but they're just going to let it kill the minion wave. And you can see what was a healthy CS advantage for Radiant dwindling as these creeps die one after the other. Wally, he's got Blade of the Ruined King. He's feeling in a great spot.
Yeah, he certainly is. Spooks wanted to get the invade. He's higher level than Minky, by the way. Spooks very fed at this part of the game. And he went for Broomblade. I'm so grumpy. Anyway.
Step aside, Spawn. Analyst in the house. No, please, no. No. We're not swapping.
I love when we play
it.
this game. So Swiffer currently farming out minions in the mid lane, looking to pick up his blue buff.
Yeah, blue very good for a mid laner. He's going to have more mana now. I'm doing it so far. You're
doing great, kid. Keep going.
King's dead. Okay, Minky Whale is going to back out here on the top side in a turret. All that's left here for Swiper to split push towards. And what do Chiefs do? At this point, Legacy have been moving around as a death squad. Choo-Choo's is a monster on this Lissandra. What do Chiefs do to answer this aggression?
They just play Chief style of League of Legends, control one half of the map. You can see right now it is top lane.
Winning.
Because, oh, they're going for Swiffer again.
Yeah, there's the glacial path. Choo-Choo's trying to find it, but not quite in range of the Frozen Tomb.
Claire didn't want to pull the trigger. Of course, you miss 100% of skill shots you do not take, so that...
We've seen him hit every single Dark Binding so far.
He wanted to preserve
the
percentage. Didn't want it to go through.
That might have been some selective watching, but I don't believe he's missed one just yet. Claire and Choo-Choo's fighting over the mid lane. But Choo-Choo's going to be able to lock down that blue buff. Claire moving down just to try and grab some extra vision, but honestly, this Morgana has really impressed me. His skill shots have been on point. The way that he's working with Carbon is fantastic, and this is something that Alex brought up himself, the fact that you really need to have that support jungle synergy.
Man, it seems to be there. Even game 1 on the Braum, it looked good as...
Oh,
Spidey
everything just missing. Choo Choo's wanders casually away.
Will continue to farm up a Storm in this mid lane. Swiffer still doing a very good job of keeping up.
Oh, Spooks is going to catch Claire. There's the death sentence as well. The Ignite's down. And Spooks gets out on the lantern. Chiefs played that beautifully.
And this is why Runeglaive Elise is seeing a lot of popularity, because it does
pretty good item, right? Oh, actually, Chum the Waters is down here on the top side of the map. Swiper got eaten for a moment, but now he's going to be fine. Oh, the flash! Not quick enough for the auto attack of the Fizz.
So the persistent damage just coming out of Swiper right now. You can see that Minky Whale went for the armor choice as Chiefs looking to pick up their first dragon of the game. And because of the amount of magic damage that does come out of the Fizz, maybe not the best choice.
He just wanted the extra wave clear, of course. That seems to be what's hindering him there on the top side. See whether he can get any of that magic resistance to help him out. Trinity Force very close to being completed here for Swiper. Empowered.
Well, Carbon might have been caught as well.
Yep, Death Sentence not going to find it, but forces the flash out of Carbon. Flayback, there's the Cocoon! So much damage as Foster of Dom comes in from Radier. Chiefs look to be turning it on here, of course. They do have a gold lead. It's only 300, and we'll see when Choo Choo's... Oh my goodness. It's going to get unleashed is what I was going to say, but he's going to go back to base instead.
Yeah, he's going to go buy a Zhonya's, or at least the arm guard component, because that hurt a lot.
See how much stasis he can keep himself in. Of course, pretty handy part of Lyssandra's kit, having that Frozen Tomb, able to self-cast it and stay untargetable for as long as possible. Chiefs looking to try and pick up their second turret of the game.
No wave clear in the mid lane.
There it goes.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, great.
See, Claire is brilliant on this Morg. Did miss his first Dark Binding.
You don't have to convince me,
Black
mate.
Shield is
I'm on the
fantastic.
Claire hype train.
Yeah, I know, you always have been. It's my bad. I believe that was why he was our mid laner of choice. There we are. Well, Legacy moving up the mid. Minkuel just eating things. Oh, I love him. Look at him go. Okay, well, Minky is going to start off this turret. Spooks needs to take a Len. They're going to sit on top of it, but no, he's going to flash out of the way after he hops back down. Chiefs not going to lose any members, but they lose the mid turret.
So actually a smart move coming out of Minky there. He's 4 of the team's 5 deaths right now. So he just didn't want anything to do with top lane. Recognizes that, wow, Claire.
Goodness me, Dark Binding. Gonna hit. Ejim misses the death sentence.
So he doesn't want anything to do with Fizz. You can see he goes the long way around. Only wants to be in the top lane once it's been pushed into the turret. But this just gives so much space to the Fizz player, and he's already got the Trinity Force. He's going for the Blade of the Ruined King as well. An aggressive build going to come out of Swiper, and we'll see whether he's able to make it work.
Might actually be... I was just thinking Hex Drinker could be a cool idea as well, but we'll see what he does decide to pick up.
So flat AD actually... Oh, it is going to be. Maybe. I was going to say flat AD isn't great on Fizz because he is so much mixed damage, which is why attack speed is so fantastic.
That's a really good point.
Because of the way his W works, reapplying that dot every single time, but who knows?
Yeah, on hit as well, just fantastic with that C7 card at the same time. So I definitely like Blade of the Ruined King. Don't need to sell me on that one, but see what he does decide to pick up. That could just be the Mercury's Treads, wanting to make sure that he's not CC'd for that long, which is important against this team comp from Legacy. Dark Bindings running around everywhere. I believe you're not going to be able to stop being eaten for too long. Don't think that's going to be one of those options. Might need a QSS for that one, which he could also be building. I love the crit animation as well from the Fizz, but he's going to clear out the top wave, and Legacy grouping a little bit here on the mid. See whether they can get some control of this vision. They're going to be able to. Only one lonely ward and a little brush there in the river.
Well, this is the battle of the two halves of the map. Right now, Chiefs have complete control over the top side. But you have to say Legacy own the bottom half of the map. Wow, that damage.
So much poke here from the Chiefs as the Hypercharge going to clear wards incredibly well. One of the niche things about Jace.
As Spooks looking to once again corral Minky Whale.
Yeah, Yeah. Oh, in goes Choo-Choo's though, turns it around on him, wants to try and repel, but he just can't. Gets into the air behind Minky Whale. Is he going to escape? Oh my goodness, Minky uses the ultimate. Spooks is getting corralled. In the meantime, Carbon dies. Not sure how that happens. The Q just misses. Has Spooks been untouched for long enough? Can he die to the turret? Execution for the Elise.
What a play out of the jungler of the Chiefs. Meanwhile, they're able to take down mid lane. Also get some work done on the tier 2. You could see the player cam. Spooks went crazy after that play.
So did Carbon. If you just saw him on the player cam just there, not happy with how that situation went. Don't think he wants Legacy to be chasing
and
kills.
Minky Whale walked to the wrong part of the map. Just needed to stand still. Make sure that he was able to pick up the tongue lash. Let's take another look at it. Oh, this is how Carbon died, actually. Swiffer just catches him out. That's so much damage.
Delivered to Radiant.
Plays him up. Dragon going to be back up in about a minute right now. Legacy moving down there in fourth to see if they can get any control over the area, recognizing how well Chiefs played that in game 1. And my goodness, that's 2 levels.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage here as well. But the teleport coming in from Minky, they're looking to try and catch Spooks out. Nice use of that shock blast as Swiffer asserts some dominance onto Legacy here.
But another teleport burn. Swiper still has his tier 2 turret under fire. They have to go back top and respect the Fizz, who is going for the Blade of the Ruined King. Did pick up the Merc Treads, as you mentioned. And there's way too long on Dragon for them to just mill in the area.
One thing I do like about what Legacy are doing, though, is that they're keeping themselves grouped up. They're not letting what happened in the first game happen again this time around with what is, again, another pretty decent pick comp here for the Chiefs. It's just not quite working with this Fizz roaming around the rift.
Yeah, they've got a poke comp, the Chiefs, coming through. Really good at sieging up. They've got the Jace, they've got Corky Rockets. At this point, both of those champions in their element. And you can just see that means that every single objective that they try and fight over, be it a turret, a ward, a dragon, they just take so much damage in the face. Swiper puts in work in the top.
Minky Whale pops out of the ground. Hello, minions.
Give up a dragon.
Yeah, Chiefs able to take their second of the game. Gold lead creeping forward ever so slowly here for the Chiefs, but it's a different story to the last game.
All right, so the one worry the Chiefs have is they need to actually close this game out before 40 minutes, because you look down the lineup, they have no tank. And on the other side of the rift, you have Lissandra, very hard to deal with as the game goes on because of double stasis. You have Carbon going to be a brick wall. Minky Whale doing whatever the heck Tahm Kench does.
He's Minky Whale. He's just going to do whatever the hell Minky Whale does.
Yeah, so they're going to have to deal with all these tanks. And sure, they have the damage to be able to do with it, but that becomes an execution game, which just means you make one slip up, the tanks run over your front line. All of a sudden, Wally goes berserk, and Legacy run away with a team fight.
And at the moment, Wally's sitting on 2-0 on 1, having a decent early to mid game so far.
He had a great early game, considering the fact that he had to lane against Corky Thresh.
And Radiant Ejim.
Yeah. So a very good performance, and we keep mentioning it. We've questioned a couple of things about Wally throughout this season, and he's done a really good job.
There's a Glacial Path. Choo-Choo's trying to find Swiffer. There's the immediate cleanse. Flashes out of the way as well. No Q to be found. Both summoner spells down here for Swiffer, but they're trying to turn it. There's the Chum. The water's clear. Gets eaten. Ejim with the flay kill. Death Sentence flash from Carbon as the Shock Blast tags Choo-Choo's, but so does the Cocoon. Glacial Path just gets him out. Choo-Choo's...
the
Legacy
very
missed that
end
guy.
of the animation coming through for him. They pick up another turret. Mid lane going to be under fire. No wave clear because Choose was sent back to base. They were going to be able to get this.
This turret is going down so quickly with the Jason
Wally just
Corky
took
damage
half of his health
from an empowered Shock Blast.
Swiper completely destroyed Claire, and Chiefs break the base.
And this was Swiffer just knowing that he's at the Jace power spike. This is your quintessential point when you're going to be strong. You got the Muramana, you've got the Last Whisper, and you got the Brutalizer. Let's shoot people right now.
Yeah, exactly right. Jace, one of the easiest champions to use at spikes. Couple that with a Corky, they just both hit it at the same time because of the gold efficiency that comes through from the Jace build. And the fact that Corky is a Trinity Force user that gets so much damage from abilities.
Yeah.
They're just able to ramp up at similar times and do this to maps, and it's only 1,000 gold, but the Chiefs have it where it counts, and that's in the mid lane.
And they've taken down that inhibitor turret and the inhibitor as well here, as Carbon's going to get caught out for a moment, but Black Shield is there, still wanting to move forward on the aggressive. Shock Blast finds him. That's going to be a deterrent. He's coming back forward now. Choo Choo's just going to clear out some minions here in the mid lane, as Wally going to get some for himself as well. Swipe is just split pushing all game.
Yeah, he certainly is. Does not want to come into a team fight until the very end. He is on cleanup duty. Legitimately a garbage man, as Carbon can't take any more of that.
Wish he was grungy Nunu right now. Wait, that's Carbon. Don't worry about it. Swipe is going to be able to take down the outer turret on the bottom side of the Rift. 3,000 gold approximate the lead here for
they
the
maybe look for a pick onto...
Yeah, Glacial Path comes in, gets stopped by the Ring of Frost. Spooks uses the repel, but where does he go? He goes to safety. That's where, no! The Q for the shutdown. And there's only so many times you can cheat death.
And Swiper may be caught out as well.
Well, in goes the ultimate there from Minky.
What a good ward. Able to Q through. Make sure he could play full Trickster away. Wow.
Claire.
Usain Bolt chases him.
That was insane. Talisman of Ascension is going to give you some extra movement speed, so that's why I was moving so fast. But my goodness. Going quick.
And Legacy, once again, get a pick, slow the pace of the game. This is what they like to do. But they're just, wow. The top half of the map, Swiper and Spooks are so fed right now. Spooks is like an Aegis ahead of Carbon, as well as a level. And look at the completed items on Swiper. He's 1,100 gold up by himself. That's a gold lead between those two players.
Yep.
1,500 and 1,100. Right there.
Well, on the other side, it is going to be Choo Choo's with a decent power point in this mid lane. 3 kills to 0 is going to be where that gold lead comes from. 7 to 7, though. This game is on a knife edge. And the Chiefs, I'm just thinking about it, and I just feel like they're running out of time.
Yeah, I think they fall off a little bit too hard, as Swipe are going to get caught out.
There's the Soul Shackles as Claire looking to try and pick it up. Oh! Eats into Minky Well as they're trying to turn it around. Not going to find any stuns, though, as Swiper getting the 1v2 kill. Minky trying to clean it up, make it a 1-for-1. Tongue Lash for the stun. Eats him to death. Welcome to my belly, says Minky Well, and Swiper dies.
Top half of the map, they're looking for Carbon. He is getting tankier, so a little bit harder to take him out, but they find him.
There's the death sentence onto Carbon. Lots of damage, but not going to find a kill. He's very tanky. Lots of health for this Nunu. Eats himself some minions here at the same time, but Minky Well had to use the teleport.
So the 1-for-1, but the important thing is that Minky is starting to chase Swiper off the split push, which is just going to be better and better as the game goes on. Because Swipe is at critical mass. As far as assassinations go, he is as far ahead as you could possibly be on the Fizz. From here, he only gets tankier, and hopefully so does the rest of the Legacy lineup.
Well, we'll see whether they can actually transition into the late game team fighting stage. Of course, Chiefs have made some pretty ridiculous team comps work in the late game and are able to pick up these team fights at all odds, but not against Legacy.
Game 1 certainly did go their favor as more poke being fired out from Swiffer. Dragon is alive. Team's not really prioritizing it, instead just playing with the vision.
Well, Bloodthirster has been completed now for Radia as Egypt's going to get slowed down. The box is there just to try and stop Carbon, but in goes Choo Choo's. Egypt is going to be the focus. Minky trying to zone everyone away. That is a super dead Egypt. Now Legacy moving towards
Minky
the Dragon.
Is so low, needs to be careful. Already used the grey health. They started up, but the poke that we spoke about and the flank coming through.
Yeah, oh my goodness, Chum the Waters, it's getting everyone out. Nice condemn from Wally as he's outplaying everyone. There it is, double kill for Swiper as he's getting his revenge. Claire once again going to be taking a lot as Carbon just trying to keep this Fizz busy. But my goodness, the Chiefs with so much damage. This is going to be the Quadra.
He's looking for Claire.
Yeah, able to use the Urchin Strike. Will he have the playful Trickster? It's going to be up soon.
Claire runs so quickly, though.
He certainly does. Another Urchin Strike. The auto attacks. The ace for Swiper. Unofficial Quadra kill.
And they just move in on the Baron buff. We said the timer might be running out. Legacy actually force the issue there. Take out Egypt, but lose everyone else. And that was maybe an overreach. They were in a position to be able to test. Now it's going to be a 6,000 gold lead. And Chiefs might just march down mid lane.
Yeah, they of course don't have an inhibitor turret to worry about. Swiper continuing the pressure here on the bottom side.
3. He is a monster. Let's take another look at it. So it's a huge shock blast, and Wally once again gets the condemn, but Swiffer flies through. The bind just misses Swiper, and then he cleans up everyone as 3 people. Make sure that Choose doesn't win another team fight single-handed.
Yeah, Brady with the fadeaway auto attack there as well. Take down Choo Choo's. Chiefs now reposition themselves around this dragon. Of course, wasn't taken in that last exchange. Chiefs now with vision control. And this dragon as well on lockdown. Extra movement speed. Thank you very much.
So able to pick up number 3. Bloodthirster QSS finished up by Raid here. Taking a look, it looks like Spirit Visage going to be the option for Swiper. Make sure the percentage health damage does stop coming through.
And Swiffer has actually decided to go for an extra BF sword as well. No defensive item choice after that first trinity of Jace items. The Chiefs moving forward. Looks like the mid lane is going to be the choice here, but teleport's available from Swiper. He's gone for a split push. No surprises.
We'll look for the 1v1 if he gets the opportunity. I think he's gone for it.
Yeah, going in onto Minky Whale. Grey Health hasn't been expended yet.
Look how much damage he did, though. That's not even the ultimate burn. Minky has no chance of staying in that lane. They need to engage now, or Chiefs will just rotate around the map and pick apart the base.
I love this as well. Chiefs moving as far away from Swiper as they can. They know that they make Legacy move too many people up there. It's going to take them too long to rotate down. That turret was extraordinarily low as Swiper had already been split pushing down here. Chiefs looking to try and break the base one more time. Spook's going to get caught by the Dark Binding, trying to get some damage back. There's the Death Sentence onto Carbon. He's almost dead here as the rockets are coming through. Tallywhacker does need to be quite careful, but Minky Whale and Swiper fighting once again.
Swiper.
Yep. Swiper, fadeaway auto attack, lets the passive do the work from that Q. Yes, Spooks going down very, very low. There's the kill for a Choo Choo's, but they've taken down the turret. Radiant, so much damage. Claire is incredibly low. Carbon just explodes after the absolute zero. Wally trying to do some work, but Swiffer able to get out of the way. Triple kill for the Jace.
Chiefs going to win game 2, Atlas. It looks like everyone dead once again. The 3 primary carries still up for them. And wow, our last-ditch effort came through, but it just was not enough.
Yeah, and it was Chiefs playing the map so beautifully in that last exchange. The fact that they were able to move around, utilize Swiper for being so huge on his power pick of the Fizz. And Chiefs make it a 2-0 at this stage. And Legacy, they have a long road home, but they've made this trip before.
Yeah, they certainly have, but the Chiefs, you can see Swiper, hands behind his head, looking very happy with how that game went. And it's nice when you get your lane camped as a top laner, Atlas. Sucks if you're Minky, but Swiper had the dream start.
He certainly did, and of course Minky, no stranger to getting camped there on the top side. It looked like Legacy were able to hold on to it. Of course, it was a 1-4-1 Tahm Kench that we were talking about, able to get tanky, able to get himself relevant, but not quite relevant enough. And the Chiefs, just with strategic play, able to take over.
And it was that one team fight around Dragon that tipped Swiper over the edge. He had 3 kills, and they turned it into 7 so quickly. And that just meant that Minky couldn't even stick around underneath the turrets unless they got the Dream initiation. And even if they did, Swiper would have just taken the base. Legacy were out of that game after the Dragon fight.
Just wasn't anywhere for them to go. Of course, that Fizz looking so, so strong. I want to talk about Choo Choo just for 1 second if we're having a look at the Legacy side, because he's playing on point tonight. He needs to carry his team in the next game, and we'll see whether he can.
You know, we gave Spooks a lot of credit for how Swiper played that game. Give all the credit to Carbon. He flashed in level 2, got him the advantage. Next time his flash was up, where did he expend it? Mid lane, straight back in there, empowering the auto attacks of Lissandra. And you're right, Choose had a fantastic game on maybe a bit of a different pick. We didn't expect Lissandra to come out, and he's shown up huge. Choose has always been a big game player, and you hope he gets one of his signature champions like a Yasuo to maybe see if he can take over a game 3.
Yeah, and this is sort of the time when you've got to do it. Everything's on the line. But to break down that game, let's throw it over to our analysts on the desk with pastry time.
Thank you very much, Atlas and Spawn, as the Chiefs take another game. And a certain host of the desk starting to look a little bit silly here. The Chiefs hype train conductor Ryan Meister and his ticket collector Rusty looking to be on point there with those predictions. But let's talk about the game here. First things first, Rusty. Draft is always so important, especially between teams like this. What sort of team comps did we see this time?
So Legacy made a bit of an adaptation to the drafting. They changed things up, but let's just preface this by saying that they changed things way too much.
Yep.
They have a Tahm Kench in the top lane, something that arguably probably shouldn't have been there, but the rest of the team comp was something that was completely set in stone. They had a strict purpose, which was going to be that zone control.
Yep, so let's have a look now at actually the team comps that both the teams picked here, and let's get a bit of an idea. So you talked about the comp there for Legacy. It's almost too far in the other direction. It was very late game in game one, maybe too early game here in this second game.
Yeah, so the only real adaptation I didn't agree with Legacy was not banning Elise, which is something that they picked here, Spooks, and both of the junglers, they camped their respective lanes, but it worked out so much better for the Chiefs based off the fact that Swiper was able to carry that game 100%. The cleanse that was actually put down by the Jace negated a lot of the Lissandra engages, and a lot of the time, even when they caught the Elise out, he didn't die. Spooks, the one time he did die, he got executed.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about Elise and Fizz is that their percentage damage means that you actually don't need to be in a fight for too long because your upfront burst is so huge. We were worrying about the Chiefs. They have no tank. How can they survive, a long engagement?
Yeah.
But then you look at the Legacy team comp, the fact that their main damage source is Vayne, who needs a lot of time to ramp up during a fight. I wouldn't be too worried about like a short duration engagement if I'm the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. And to add on to that point, if they picked a Kog'Maw in the bot lane instead of Vayne, it would have done a lot more. Kog'Maw is being picked in this meta just because it's so good against poke, and the Vayne pick is only good against extended front lines. The Chiefs did not have an extended front line. They had pick potential. They didn't have a tank. And yeah, that's where they fall off.
Yep, and Ryan Meister, while you're in the hot seat, let's talk a little bit about Minky's pick there of Tahm Kench. I know you've seen it a couple of times. I'm sure anyone at your level playing solo queue's probably seen it around the trap. But what do you think of the pick there, especially what Minky was bringing to that matchup?
Yeah, I can see why Minky went for that pick, but I just don't understand it. Why would you pick a champion that is weaker than another champion that basically has the same sort of kit? Shen does the job overall much better than Tahm Kench. Why? Because the engage is so much stronger. You have a lot of pressure on all the lanes, just like a TF, and Tahm Kench just, it doesn't fit in right now. Maybe in the next couple patches when they start to buff him, but right now, I'm not too sure why he picked it. Also, Minky Whale, like, it was just him pushing the lane too hard, being in a bad position, just getting caught over and over again by the percentage damage jungler and top laner.
Yeah, and look, Tahm Kench, I think I can kind of see why he did it, because you need protection for the Vayne. There's no way you can take a Vayne into a comp against the Elise, against the Fizz, and expect to survive. And so Tahm Kench with Devour can, swallow up Vayne, protect her for a bit. But then you're absolutely right. There's no engage. There's no way to press the game plan forward.
Yeah, and I just want to quickly touch on what Rymeister said as well. The percent damage, top and jungle, respectively, from this Chiefs lineup. They picked Elise, and they picked that Fizz that works off percentage of max health missing. And they picked that with a poke comp. They had the Cork in the Jace. That is ridiculous, and Tahm Kench is a champion that builds health. So a lot of questions can be raised about that.
And look, there were signs of life for Legacy, certainly. Like, they had, I think, a much more aggressive early game here, really trying to fight the Chiefs now instead of just sitting back and scaling. And Alex, we actually had a replay from Legacy's early kind of exchange there. Maybe break down just kind of how this happened and where Legacy were going.
Yeah, okay. So Legacy, not in the best position here. If you roll the clip right now, you'll see they're a bit too far out. And the engage goes on to them. And I'm actually worried for them at this point. But you see already the rotation begins. Choo Choo's is already on his way down. He knows if something's going to go down, he's going to be there. And some really slippery moves from Tallywacker here. Look at him. He's just dancing around the sides, getting a ton of damage in. Gets out just at the exact moment. And Claire, the real hero here, I think, just saves the Dark Binding. I think it gets juked here by Ejim, but it doesn't matter because Choo's is there and he's able to clean it up.
Yep. Point and click ability is pretty good there for Choo Choo. He's able to clean that one up. Yep. And let's talk a little bit about Claire. I feel like he's actually playing quite well. Like, the biggest thing that drew left the team was certainly the macro level, that shot calling and all that vision. But as far as mechanics and play goes, Claire is just fine.
So Claire's playing well. There's no doubt in my mind that Claire is stepping up to the plate. He's not going to be at flying Dew level within 2 weeks, so he's very close to hitting that point. The most important thing, though, and it's something that was alluded to by the casters during that game, was the fact that Claire was playing like a mid Morgana. Now, you need to play a little bit more selflessly as a support style, but like the mechanics were on point. He was hitting bindings, but he was also holding off the bindings as if they were the major damage tool out of his kit. So whilst Claire has adapted well, and I'm sure you guys can agree or disagree with this, I don't think that he's playing like a support. He's still playing like a mid.
Absolutely. The mechanics are all there, but you saw a lot of times he chose to put Black Shield on himself, and like you said, to hold the Dark Binding, to not selflessly go for it, to let a teammate clean it up. You know, but I think he knows that now. He's figured it out, and I think Game 3 will see an even better performance if he can get another more mid-style champion like Morgana.
Yeah, so with that, let's take a look at another replay here. And this time, it's sort of what the Chiefs do here. Rymeister, I know you quite like this fight. Break down what's happening here.
Okay, so as we roll the clip, we get to see the Chiefs, they're starting to flank here. Well, actually, a bad engage by Shoes. And this is because the mid laner has cleansed. So that it's easy for the top laner, Swiper, who's really fed, just to re-engage with his ultimate. The Chiefs playing the comp really well here just because it's a poke comp and it has high damage. It hit their power spikes through the Triforce of Fizz and Corki. They did quite well there, and yeah.
Hard to believe Choo-Choo's actually lived through that, to be perfectly honest with you. But they made a lot of really strong picks, which is something that the Chiefs displayed from their first game, is their capability of actually making picks and getting everything that they could ever want from said picks. And the fact that they managed to win that, they ended up getting an inhibitor from that, and that was essentially the big snowball that started to roll in that game, was from that one moment.
Yeah. And is this... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Even though they hit... Like, even though Choose was 2-0-2 at that stage, Jace always power spikes 3 items, so regardless of his score, he's still going to be relevant, and Corki and the Fizz at that point in the game.
Yeah, and we have another replay, a final one here for this particular segment. Rusty, let's look at the last team fight of the game here, because this is just the Chiefs being Chiefs.
Yeah, so at this point, the Chiefs are just infinitely further ahead. They've got the Baron. We'll just start rolling it now. And Legacy, you can see a little bit of aggression here from Wally Thacker. Whether necessary or not didn't really matter, but the Condemn no longer available. And they've also got a low jungler. So meanwhile at top lane, of course, the 1v1 happening between Swiper and Minky Whale starts to really give them the go button that they were looking for. Spooks playing hyper aggressively, essentially, looking to just be the front line, even though he isn't necessarily one. But they're so far ahead that he can act as if he is one. Now Radar and Swiffer are able to just sit in the back line and put down an abundance of damage with no real contest whatsoever. It's just a really confident play from this Chiefs side on the back of them being so far ahead from the mid game, which is something we're not used to saying about the Chiefs.
No, that was just a very strong execution throughout that game here, and we kind of missed him, honestly, talking a lot about Tahm Kench. It's great, he's the exciting champion there in the lineup, but what the hell, Swiper? How? Like, we see why he was banned in game 1. That was an absolutely absurd display on that champion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Fizz against Tahm Kench, already a favorable matchup, but add the Elise to that. And Spooks, let's not take any of the spotlight away from him. He was surviving ganks that he had no business living through. His repels were on point, and his team was always there to assist him when he was in trouble.
I mean, as far as Chiefs go, they're 2-0 up now. Don't have to do too much more. You have to think as far as getting either the 3-0 or the 3-1, because no matter what happens, at this rate, I'm certainly looking quite stupid. What do Legacy need to change, though? Because their drafts have been quite different game to game, and it feels like they're trying to play to comfort a bit.
I guess in regards to drafting, the biggest issue is going to be playing top laners that don't necessarily fit what the team is looking for. And I guess the problem is that they were on red side twice in a row as well. So they had the option of the last pick, and they're looking to put a lot of emphasis onto Choo-Choo's and not to Minky Whale. But they're also losing game 1 from lane swaps, losing game 2 from being Tahm Kench, which, as Rymeister said, Shen's probably going to be a better option, even just another tank that has some kind of engage, some kind of initiation, where the rest of them were somewhat lacking in that regard. So what do Legacy change immediately? I would look at top lane and say Minky changes his champion, not his playstyle.
That's fair.
I also think that maybe Carbon could put a bit more pressure top lane, and like Minky can only play that playstyle, like that really aggressive playstyle, if he gets that pressure. I think they should also bring more skirmishes to the Chiefs. So pick more mid-game champions, try to take on Elise in the jungle, try to cash out Ejim when he goes to Roman Ward, and that's where you can find snowball advantages.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Carbon, he's been playing Nunu 2 games in a row now, and I understand the game plan. He's playing the champion fine, but as Rymeister said, they need to look for those skirmishes. They need to look towards junglers who can have more impact in those small-scale skirmishes.
Yeah, I mean, great stuff from the Chiefs. Currently find themselves up 2-0, but we'll see if Legacy can start the comeback, because it needs to happen quite soon. Let's throw back into the big top with Atlas and Spawn.
Thank you very